Welcome into Real Talk today. I'm Michael Liptak here with Sydney McIntyre. Presidential candidate Marco Rubio, he was on CBS's Face of the Nation, and after admitting in an interview he would attend the same-sex wedding of a family member or staffer, even if he didn't agree with the decision. He told Bob Schefter that he wasn't against gay marriage, but believes the definition of institution of marriage should be between one man and one woman. He added, states have always regulated marriage, and if a state wants to have a different definition, you should petition the state legislator and have a political debate about it. And he's a presidential candidate, and during any time a presidential candidate runs, anytime they make comments regarding gay marriage and their views on it, I think it always becomes a sketchy subject for them to talk about because it could help or hurt his cause. When you saw some of his comments that he made, do you think that he helped his cause, or do you think that it hurt it?
I think it's a hard position for him to be in. I do believe that certain positions that candidates are put in, like this one alone, it really shows the public kind of where they should stand on the candidate and if they should stand behind them or not. But I also think that it's difficult because in this time right now in the world with everything that's going on, as soon as the media was able to cover this and put this into the minds of those who are going to, like the citizens, into the people that are going to be the voters, that's what they do. That's what their job is during a candidacy like that, the presidential candidacy. And so I think for him, it didn't necessarily help or hurt him. I think it just added to, a baseline of information for people to take from it. So whether they want to look into it a little bit longer, see how long this lasts, or if they want to refrain from voting for him. That's the beauty of having candidates. You don't have to just vote for one person. You can watch and see there may be something that one person that is this great person that has nothing wrong, and then they go and do one thing wrong, and then everybody and the voters don't like that. But then they realize how he dealt and handled with this thing. So I think it all depends on how much research a voter will put into it to determine their decision. And it's also very hard because in today's day and age, with all the technology, something like this can be totally manipulated through the media. So it's a very difficult situation. And in this case, I really don't know if it hurt or helped him. And I think that we will be able to determine that here pretty soon.
One quote that stuck out with me is he said, ultimately, if someone that you cared for and is part of your family has decided to move in one direction or another, or feels that way because of who they love, you respect that because you love them. And I think that's the take everybody should have, is whether you kind of agree with what direction they're going or not, you still support them and love them. And I think he took the right direction here. I think the one quote that I think might get him in trouble is he says that people are born with a sexual preference, and that's, I think, will come into play, or not come into play, but I think a lot of people will question that about him.
Well, and I think another thing that people need to take from certain things like this, you don't need to hate the sinner, you need to hate the sin. And I think that that decision, that needs to be dealt with God or whoever, your higher person is, that anybody, like Jehovah, whatever, Mormon, whatever it may be, Episcopal, Catholic, Chuck Norris, whatever it may be. I think it's your relationship, and I think a lot of people get on this kick where it's like they hate homosexuality, but then they go and they dislike a person who could be a really good person also, and instead of pinpointing the sin, or if they don't like that act. And so I think that it needs to be stated that it's not necessarily the sinner, but it's the sin.
And if you'd like to join the conversation, follow us on our Facebook page. Let us know what you think about Marco Rubio's comments. Do you agree with them, or do you disagree? Let us know and we'll get back to you.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7